All right, guys. Hello everybody. I hope everything's working. Let me know in the chat if everybody's here. Sorry for the delay. I seem to have not. I had some technical issues, so I'm a little delayed here. But I hope everybody's who wanted to see this one is here, and welcome to Livestream number 16. In it, I'd like to present to you very quickly some of the add-ons that I frequently use. The thing is, in the last live stream, if you've been here, I actually streamed about how I render my stuff, how I composite it in Blender, and I kept promising you that I will show you how I use a certain add-on for rendering, and I never got around to it. So yeah, I promised it like 6 times and I didn't even mention it in the end. So that's my fault. And I was thinking, okay, what should I do? What should I do to correct it? Either I could make a whole live stream about just one add-on, but that would be like 10 minutes. So that wasn't really a good idea, I think. So I decided that I will actually, let me just quickly render this scene here for you. Just a quick render preview to see what I'm working with. But this scene actually is not connected to what I want to present to you today. Hello everybody in the chat. Hi from Czech Republic, Anton. And yeah, sorry for the technical issues. They're always there when you least need them. But I think the stream is now working properly. And in this live stream number 16, I will present to you all of my add-ons that I frequently use. So I hope this will be interesting for you. I hope everybody is sitting nicely in your chair, enjoying maybe a glass of wine like me. Cheers to you. And let me start this presentation. This is just one of those scenes that, I am using for Heroes of Bronze. Let me know, everybody, if everything's working so that I can start. And it seems the chat is filling with people, so that's good. Good. For those of you who know me, how I work, you probably also know that I use a lot of pictures. So this scene that looks like this is made of a lot of those pictures. The closer I get to the camera, the more 3D stuff gets. And yeah, here's a 3D statue of Zeus. And some pedestal from, actually this one is from Megascans, I think. And here's the main hero, Nikephoros. I don't really want to show him from the front because he looks atrocious. I didn't really finish him, but yeah, I'm just showing him in this scene from behind, so it doesn't really matter that much. And I have a special shot for the close-up, so never mind. There are columns in this scene. I textured them in one of the previous live streams, so yeah, not gonna talk about this tonight. Then there are some walls and some mosaic floor and some amphoras, but that's not the topic for today. As I said, I will be detailing some of the add-ons that I use. And guys, really, this is not a product placement. None of those creators of those add-ons know that I'm presenting their add-ons tonight. So this is really just tools that I like to use and that I really wanted to present because why not? It might be useful to somebody. And by the way, it's still Friday, the Black Friday. So a lot of those add-ons that I will be showing you, I think are discounted. So yeah, let's have a look. Okay, let's go to preferences. And let's see. I have checked this enabled add-ons only. So these are my add-ons that I'm using. And this will not be a tutorial. This will be just a quick presentation of what I'm frequently using. So, okay, let's start with the Proxify add-on. I think I posted a link here, sorry, in the chat, but yeah, Proxify add-on. Let me switch to the shaded view and let me show what it does. Let's say I have this Zeus statue here. Somebody in the chat at the beginning, when I had technical issues, sorry, asked where the scene is. This scene is actually in Olympia, because in Olympia, at the Olympic Games, each contestant had to swear that they will uphold the rules of the contest and that they will conduct themselves fairly. So that's what Nikephoros is doing here, swearing under the statue of Zeus. And this statue, if I have a look, it has like 200,000 faces, which, yeah, something about that. If you wanted to scatter a lot of these across your scene, it would basically take all your performance. So that's not really ideal. So let me, yeah, this is much nicer. So there is a way to make your workflow much faster in Viewport, and that's with this Proxify add-on, which was the first on my list. It is free. You can download it. Let me find it actually. Proxify. There is a whole special discussion on Blender artists, so let me paste it there. Yeah, and this is where you can get Proxify add-on for free. What it does is, apart from, you can basically take your object, and when you go to this object properties menu here, go to viewport display, and there is, in the viewport display menu, you can see there's this Proxify menu here. A lot of options here. Let's say, I don't know, I wanna, instead of this Zeus statue, I just wanna have a cube. So I add a cube, put it here, make it about the same size as my buddy Zeus here. Yeah. Okay. I can even make it just wireframe, display as wireframe. And, you know, if I wanted to have this cube here in the scene instead of the Zeus statue, which has, this is very low poly and this is very high poly. I don't want to take any of the performance of the scene in the viewport. So I just, with the Proxify, I just define this cube, and then where did it go? Ah, what? Yeah, sorry. I broke it. Okay, and then I can basically just deactivate the Zeus in the scene and have just the cube. This is of course not the main functionality. This is the most stupid way to use this. Instead, what I most often do, I go to the Proxify add-on, I set a fair amount of decimation here. Let's say, I don't know, 0.005, and I click decimate. Wait a bit, see? It made this model a lot more low poly, and this actually did not delete any of your mesh, the high poly mesh. Don't worry, all your textures, all your mesh is still there. It's just replaced by the proxy. You can always make it on and off. You can change you can decimate it with other methods. So you can add, I don't know, a cube or cone instead of that. And you can even, you know, very quickly duplicate all this. And then, if you want, you can deactivate it in just one of these duplicates. So that's very good. Actually, if you're, for example, filling your scene with a lot of particles, and those particles are slowing the scene a lot, you can basically just take those base particles, proxify them, and then scatter them, and that will, you know, speed up your workflow a lot. And this is free, so yeah, really love it. By the way, if you now switch to the rendered mode, let me do it very quickly. JSM is asking if it works with linked objects. I don't know, but I can try. So yeah, let's try. Let me actually wait for the render preview here. See, in the viewport it was modified, but here it is final. So that's what happens when you hit render. Very handy add-on. Let me actually link something here. So link, I don't know. Let me link the statue actually. I still have the Zeus statue in another scene, so let me link it. Where is it? What? Ah, no. So that did not work. I don't know. Let me link something else. Temple. Let's see. Let's see how fast it is. Oh, yeah, this is really big. So this is linked. And let's test it. Make local and Proxify. Let's see. Decimate. And it does not work. So sorry. No, it doesn't. It seems it doesn't work for linked objects, but you can definitely try to check it out and see if you find out something better than me. I actually never tried it on linked objects, but that's a good question. So yeah, you can just download it and try it yourself. The link is above. So Proxify, that's my first add-on. Okay, let me deactivate it. Nice. And let's go back to the preferences, and here next add-on from the very same guy, this BD3D guy, created a scatter add-on. Some of you may know this. Let me see. For example, I might have here, I might have here this pottery, Greek pottery, amphoras. I'm not sure if it's amphoras or amphorae. But yeah, these 4 pottery vases from ancient Greece. I want to have a plane, and let's theoretically, let's just say I want to fill this ground with a lot of amphorae lying on it. Let me just subdivide it first, with like 80 subdivisions. Apply the scale, and sure, I could go in, create a particle settings, make it hair, go into, I don't know, render, collection, pottery, it's small, and it's, you know, it's just, I can't really control how it is distributed over the terrain, so I just changed the options here, but it doesn't really do too much. In other words, I'm trying to say that this is tedious. So that's why there is scatter add-on. With it, this particle settings is actually much better, in my opinion. It is created much better. The menus are much more conveniently structured, and you can find it here if you have it active in the shelf menu. So when you hit N, you will find the scatter menu, and the steps are actually very simple. You just define your target where you want your particles to be distributed. So I put this plane here. Then you select all the particles. So if you had, I don't know, if you had 1 million particles here, you would just select them all. In my case, I have just these amphorae. And then you hit scatter, of course. This is the important part. There are methods to distribute all these. So you can just choose whichever method you like. There are presets for grass. There are presets for, it seems like woods. Yeah, woods here. There are presets for objects and plants and everything. So with this, you probably choose whichever one you like. Tiny. Let's try it. And hit scatter. Ooh, here it is. And this is very fast. And as you can see, it's creating very nice patterns right off the bat. So yeah. And of course, down here in the tweaking menu, you have first layer. If you wanted to add more layers, you just, change this, for example. and again select this, or just 3 of them, and scatter again, and it added another layer. See? And you can change the settings, of course, of these. So you can change display percentage, for example. You can change the emission count. That's probably something you know from the basic settings, but here it is actually quite conveniently structured, I think. You can activate children. I have children, and I love the clumping here. Yeah, this is very convenient clumping setting. Maybe this is all a little bit, you know, there's a lot of settings at the same place, so maybe you won't find it that convenient, but once you get used to it, it really is a great add-on. And hopefully, okay, let's see. Let's put the camera here and see what it does. Let's say I have a camera like this. I'm just pointing this way, and all of these particles are not really needed because they are out of the frame. So let's say I want to create mask based on the clipping. And it's not really working. Yeah, I had selected camera, so let me select the camera, selected camera. No, it's not really working. I'm not sure why, but I had some problems with this clipping. But basically in the previous versions of the add-on that I tried, with just one click, you were able to create a mask based on just of the view of your camera. So that's awesome. But yeah, not really working now. Not sure what I'm doing wrong. But of course you have other options for masks here, so that's awesome. Clustering, yeah, that's the noise type basically that controls the pattern in which those particles are distributed, so you can play around with that a lot. And all this in the normal particles menu, you would have to play a lot with this, and this add-on basically allows you to do it with just one click. So I really like it. You can change even the bitmaps that are driving the density. So how awesome is that? Yeah, love it. Anyways, this is a great add-on. I really recommend it. And it's of course on Blender Market. So let's see. Scatter, and I will post a link in the discussion. Scatter. It's discounted. Good. So here you go. Maybe you'll find some use for that. What's the difference between multi-res modifier and this thing? Probably by this thing it's meant Proxify. I'm not sure. Yeah, of course, multi-res doesn't have as many options to choose from. Create, decimate. In my experience, it doesn't have as many options. But of course, you can use multi-res modifier for that as well. But definitely, if you have a look at Proxify, let me find it here. Proxify, it allows you to create proxies automatically in much more ways than multi-res, in my experience. I may be wrong, but this is a really advanced add-on for creating proxies for free. So yeah, this one was Scatter, but that's enough about Scatter. I think we can go on with some more of my favorite add-ons. GIS, of course, I made a special, let me start a new scene here. I made a special live stream just about GIS. If you activate it, you have it here, and you can jump into a base map. And it's basically Google Maps, and you can choose. Let me load it. Hope I didn't break it. But you can choose any number of locations from the real world. Scotland. I want Scotland. Yeah, Scotland actually is a great area because it has a nice detail of Google Map definition or texture density. It has no watermark when you're searching in this, and it has beautiful untouched nature, almost untouched. So I do recommend searching there. Let me, for example, hit this area, hit E. I have a texture right off the bat and get SRTM. The topography service failed. That sometimes happens. So let me see what I can do about that. I go to the settings of the add-on and there are actually ways, open topography, for example. There are ways to change where the data is sourced. So let me see if it works. Fingers crossed. Come on. What this is supposed to do is give you the elevation data. So basically displays, here we go. Displays the terrain based on the data from the satellites. Yeah, this is how I make some of my landscapes, and there will be a course about this created by me on CG Boost next month. So watch out for that. One whole chapter is based on this workflow, so I will go into a lot of detail there. Let's not go into too much of a detail now. I'm not sure which live stream was it, but it was definitely in the first series, 1 to 10. I think like live stream number 8 was all about this add-on. So yeah, let me have a sip of drink. Transportation add-on, real-time X is asking if I use transportation add-on. No, not actually. So yeah, I'll have a look at what it is. The Grove, of course, everybody should know the Grove because it's awesome for creating, what is this? Yeah, the Grove. Let me create another scene for the Grove add-on because that was awesome as well. If you enable Grove, you actually have a whole new option here in the add menu. So let me add it. Then nothing happens at first, but for that you have to go to this Grove menu and you change, or you choose which preset for growing trees you want. This is all about growing trees if you don't know. And I have some presets here, so let me choose, for example, oak and some twig. Oak, yeah. So this added twig, and now the magic happens because I can change how many years I want to add to this tree that I'm growing. I hit grow, and I have added a tree, oak tree that's 10 years old. Now I click grow again, and I've added 20 years or 10 years based on this cycles number to the tree. And you can even there is a build menu. No, not build. I think there's an animate. Record, of course. You can hit record and it will record the growth of your tree. So basically then you just scrub through the timeline and you will have a whole growth of the tree recorded in keyframes. That's really awesome. But I better not do it here because this will blow up my computer. Good thing is, you just, if you hit a CPU, GPU, and if you just hit render, everything's already textured and it's looking great and quite realistic, I'd say. So this is Grove add-on. It allows you to, of course, there's gazillion ways to adjust this. I'm not going into that because there's a lot of it, really. Just one of them, I don't like these. If I don't like these branches here, I can go to the prune menu. And I think I hit, if I hit prune now, I will get rid of these. See? No? No. Maybe enter? Yeah, I think enter. Yes. So this is how very easy it is. In the previous versions, this functioned with the outliner, with this annotation tool. Now it seems there is a new tool for that. So yeah, great. Let me get rid of these. Let me get rid of these annotations. And of course, there's many options for this, so let me not get into it right now. But you can add more trees. You can, I don't even know how many options there is, but I think there is actually, it would be better if I went to the website of the Grove add-on, and if you check this website, you will get all of the information about the releases and what the features of this add-on are. So yeah, it seems that there are some new tools in Blender release 9. So new twigs, better mesh building. So yeah, really great results you can achieve with this add-on. It can get pricey, but again, it seems there is, yeah, look at this, just look at this. It costs this, but it's discounted now. So yeah, it definitely is worth it. One of my favorite add-ons, in fact, for creating trees. So yeah, that's the Grove add-on. Next one in the line, let's see. Wait to vertex mode. Ah, yeah. This is very useful because, for example, for mapping textures, I will be again talking about it in my CG Boost landscape course that I will be releasing next month. Let's say I have a plane here. Let me create some, very quickly, let me create some rocks here. So 6 rocks, put them here, make a collection, rocks. Okay, I make some particles. This is just a quick setup for what I want to show, and subdivide 100 times. Okay, what's going on? Ah, good. And source, random order, even distribution, random. Ah, here, of course, yes. So that was this is just a quick setup. And now, if I wanna paint a weight here for, for these rocks to be distributed on the weight plane, only on the weight plane, I can do that. And then I can just choose the vertex group that I just painted, and it sticks to that ground. Well, but sometimes you can't do everything with these weight planes, with these vertex groups, painting these weight paints. And you want to have a very quick way to convert everything to texture paint. Of course, now you have no vertex colors here. Texture paint is vertex colors. So this is very, elemental. I just want to convert this group, vertex group, into a vertex color. For example, if I wanted in the shading mode, let's say I add a material, I add a RGB color. One is blue, one is green, and EV. So I plug this green there, and I want to combine these. So mix RGB. And let me activate these particles. So what if I wanted to have this blue color? So I just plugged in the green color, but what if I wanted to have the blue color underneath the particles? This is, for example, the case if you wanted to make a dry ground underneath your stones, but a green grass everywhere else. Well, of course, I would need to use this vector and mix in the weight map, but it doesn't really work because vertex group is not there. I can't really plug in the vertex group that I painted into this shader node. But what I can do is plug in a vertex color. It would be great if I could somehow convert this vertex group into a vertex color. Normally it can't be done, but there is this great add-on called, let me search for it actually, what is it? Weights to vertex colors add-on. And I can just take any vertex group that I have here and in the viewport search for convert, I think. No, weight to. I always have trouble finding it, but yeah, here it is. Vertex color from weight. You click on it, and then you go to the texture. Weight paint, texture paint. What? Sorry. Vertex paint, sorry. Not texture paint, vertex paint. And you can see I just with one click, I took this weight paint here and I converted it to vertex paint. So that's a very useful add-on, and then I can use it in shading. See? Now it's working nice. So this is a very useful add-on that I use all the time. And vertex weights to vertex colors. It is made by KCar. And I will paste it here. So that's the next one. Okay, if you find use for that, definitely enjoy it, because that was something I was looking for a long time. So if you want to really quickly convert your weight paint vertex groups into vertex colors, you can do it by using this weight to vertex color add-on. And landscape, of course, that's the next one. Everybody should know this. I will talk about it in my upcoming course. Where is it? Here, landscape. And here you can choose a lot of presets for these various landscapes. So yeah, it's in the menu here. And with it you can add different variations of landscapes, but let's not go into that. This is one that is built into Blender, I think, by default. So yeah, auto eye. Yeah, let me use auto eye. Where is it? Here. Let me delete everything else. So this added an eye here. Let me check this in Eevee, because it works both in Eevee, I think, as well as in Cycles. And it's a photorealistic eye that I use. Yeah. So let me show it in Cycles, actually, because I forgot how to use it in Eevee without that reflection. But basically what it does, it's an add-on for eyes, as you probably guessed, and it generates an eye for you. And here you can change all this stuff very quickly. You can change the fibers contrast. Detail of various parts here. You can even change in the shape keys sizes of different stuff. So you can make the iris bigger. You can make the pupil bigger or smaller. Yeah. So this is a really useful eye add-on, probably the best that I came across. And let me find it for you. Auto eye Blender. Let's see how much it costs. And it's just $18. Go for it, people. It's an awesome add-on. Love it. And I use it on Heroes of Bronze. So if you want to know what eyes do I use on my project, these are the eyes that I use. So definitely Lucas Falcao made a great job on this one. So yeah, definitely recommend it. And by the way, you can bake everything. Whoop. What happened? What the hell? Yeah, don't bake it like this. But you can bake your textures, of course, so that you don't have this. Whoa, that's an amazing shader. Yeah, this is all streamlined in this shader menu, but you can, of course, bake all your textures later, so don't worry about it. Cool, so that was my next add-on that I like and that I use. And which one's the... Let's proceed. All right. Okay. Autumn Eye extra objects. Yeah, this is a built-in add-on, extra objects. Yeah, just search for it. And if you are wondering where all of these special meshes came from, that's the extra objects add-on. I like this one because it allows you to add different rocks very quickly. So that's part of the extra objects add-on. Rock generator. But there are even, I think, different presets. So asteroid. And let me actually make fewer number of iterations. And ice. Not too detailed there. River rock. I think you get the gist. It allows you to generate stuff, basically rocks, very quickly, because nobody really wants to lose time on the rocks. There are different math functions. Gears, I like these. Yeah, it allows you to create shapes like this and play around with them. Something you would not necessarily want to model, and this allows you to create it very fast. Then there's pipe joints, for example. Elbows. Yeah, love that. So, diamonds. I think it's part of the extra add-ons as well. And see? So definitely, I think this extra add-ons, extra objects add-on should be enabled by default, but it's one of those that are hidden in Blender, and you can definitely go for it there and just activate it. You have it built in at any time, so definitely use it at your leisure. Then there's just some import-export add-ons that are part of Blender again. One of them is actually the super useful import images as planes. I guess everybody knows that. I'm using it a lot. For example, let's go to cycles and rendered. And now, whenever it does exactly that. You basically just go into this import dialog and you have these images as planes here. You find some of your textures you like. And find something that you want to add, and you add it on a plane. So yeah, this is the add-on I use for adding my skies and my mountains on 2D planes. Not much more to it. It just adds a plane, and onto it names it the same name as your texture is called on your disk, and also it automatically sets up the shader for you. So yeah, super useful, super fast, and I recommend using it a lot. Next one is Megascans plugin. Let's not go too much into that, but this one is needed if you have the Quixel Bridge installed. You just install this one, and then you are able to very quickly, let me see which ones I have here. Then you are able to very quickly, here, export something into Blender. So yeah, that's what it is for. So that was Megascans plugin, STL format. Those import export, let's not talk about them too much. I think UV layout, everybody knows about this, but I'm not even sure if I actually ever activated this one. But just to be sure, so that you know what you can do with this, basically whenever you have a UV layout on anything, let me create a very quick UV layout on this cube and go to the image editor. And I have a UV here. I can basically just click on this export UV layout and export it as PNG. So yeah, useful if you want to paint over these UVs or these images in Photoshop, for example. Next plugin, UV layout, wave, of course, import, export, OBJ, everybody knows that. Copy attributes, oh my god, this is so useful. This should be by default. Copy attributes menu, if you should, like, yeah, it's free, it's built in, and if you should activate one add-on, this should be it. Because what it does, have you ever wanted to create basically an object, have some attribute on it, and then copy one single attribute onto a different object? Well, that's what this do. By default, you can't really do it in Blender, but let's say, I don't know, let's create a sphere here. And what if I wanted to very quickly copy just location, not rotation, not scale, just copy location of this sphere onto this cube? Or basically, yeah. So I first select the cube, I second shift select the sphere and hit Control C. And this copy attributes menu appears, and I can choose just single attribute from this sphere to be copied onto the cube. So if I copy a location, see, now the sphere is on the very same location. Now the cube is on the very same location as the sphere. Yeah, I can't even tell you how many times I tried to learn how to do this in Blender. Of course, you can do it with linking, Control L, but it's not really the same because it then forever just creates links with other objects in your scene, and it's just not the same thing as basically having this option to just hit Control C and copy rotation of one object to another. And this works also for, let me see, for example, I will have several modifiers here, and if I want to copy just one of them, I go to this copy selected modifiers, and I choose bevel. See, that's awesome. So definitely activate this copy attributes add-on. It's one of the most useful ones that I found in this default built-in add-ons of Blender. Yeah, copy attributes, love that. Okay, atmosphere. That's another one that I got on Blender, a Blender market. And this one just basically very quickly adds in atmosphere to your 3D scene. So yeah, it's as simple as that. I think I have transparency activated here, but no. So let me actually create a whole new scene for that. It's a Blender add-on called Physical Atmosphere. So let me find it here. Physical Atmosphere add-on. It's quite pricey, but I love it because it very quickly adds in nice simulation of different atmosphere types and time of day. So let me very quickly show it to you. Cycles GPU, and with just one click you activate this very nice atmosphere sphere, and you can just control everything you need for this. So elevation of the sun changes the time of the day. You can of course change the density of atmosphere very fast. You can change the height where it is, basically how high it is above the level of the sea, intensity of atmosphere, change the colors, but the default state is really a physically correct state. So yeah, really love this. This is what I'm using for a lot of my Heroes of Bronze scenes, so definitely recommend it. But yeah, except for these settings here in the end shelf, not much more to it. So that's another one. Okay. And we're getting to the end here. Of course, mesh loop tools, everybody should know that if you want to model stuff. Let me add a cube here. Tool, where is it? Edit. No. Item. No. Create. Edit. Where are loop tools? Come on. Ah. One has to be in the edit mode. If you are in the edit mode for any operations in this, let's switch to the shaded view. Let me displace it several or extrude it several times. There are all sorts of loop tools here that you can use. For example, let me subdivide this several times, make it smooth to see what it can do. And let's select all these faces and let's, for example, select flatten. See, it very quickly flattened everything. Or one I really, really love. Let me extrude this and extrude this, for example. And when I hit circle, it creates a perfect circle right off the bat. Let's see another thing. Delete these and these. And let's select these edges and bridge. And it creates a perfect bridge between them. And then there is a lot of them that I don't really use that much, but relax is all of them. Space tries to make evenly spaced spaces between all of the faces, but it's not something I use too much, but it makes it more or less more evenly spaced than before. So definitely a great tool for anybody who likes modeling and operations like this. Really guys, this circle option makes it all worth it, right? This is especially great for anyone doing hard surface modeling. So definitely have those loop tools active by default. Okay, Node Wrangler, oh, of course. Node Wrangler, that's a chapter by itself. So if you, this is actually one thing that I really recommend going, because this one helps you with node work in shader editor. And I really do recommend opening this Node Wrangler here and going into the hotkey list that you can find there to find all of the hotkeys that you can do in the shader editor. Because one of those, I don't know, let me quickly create an object here. I already have one. So let me create a shader for it and jump into shader editor. For example, if I really quickly wanted to create a physically correct texture setup, you know, by default, I would just add an image texture, open it up, find a collection of some, you know, physically based textures and start adding them and plugging them in one by one. Well, with Node Wrangler, for example, there is this super useful hotkey, Ctrl-Shift-T. You find your collection of textures, you select them all at once. So roughness, metalness, normal, color. You click on this principal texture setup. See, it does it very fast. And it basically just plugs it for you. So that's awesome, really great option to use. What else there is? For example, if I had two shaders, I can just hit Ctrl-Shift and right mouse button and drag this line here, and it automatically mixes everything. I think if I hit Ctrl-Shift, yeah, star on my numpad, it automatically adds multiply node. Shift, right mouse button, adds this reroute node. So you can, you know, structure everything. Well, there is so many keyboard shortcuts that this Node Wrangler helps you with in the shader editor. really go through them, try to learn them. It's really useful, and it speeds up the workflow. That's the main thing. It really speeds up your work in shader editor. So that's what I use all the time. Bool tool, basically the same thing as the loop tools, but for booleans. Let's not go into that. It basically just helps you with the boolean operations, and it's more efficient. What I have here next is Graswald, one of my first add-ons that I bought. And if you ever wanted to really quickly add a photorealistic grass, of course Graswald is for you. I use the Grove add-on for trees and Graswald for all my grass needs. So basically, if you have just any plane here, let me subdivide it again. Vito says that the audio is low. Shit! I hope it wasn't too low the whole time. But yeah, I hope it's not that serious. So Graswald add-on allows you to, with just one click, create a awesome collection, awesome basically biome or particle setting, and just choose from whatever grass you want or plants you want. And it adds in, let me choose a HDRI, and it adds in photorealistic plants into your scene. And you can of course change which type you want. So I just clicked on this orchard grass, and it adds this grass here. And there are different types for all of these, so you can make them small, you can make them with flower. Just look at it. It looks awesome. It looks really awesome, and especially if you combine more types of these. For example, creeping bent grass combined with this grass flower, and you can add more density to it and very quickly start filling your scenes with a super realistic, awesome looking grass. Let's have a look how expensive Graswald is. It probably is expensive, but again, one of those add-ons that everybody really should have. Yeah, Graswald Personal, $36. I'd say it's one of the most important add-ons everybody should have. But of course, if you don't work with grass, it's probably not for you. Everybody working with grass, you can create sorry, really realistic scenes in just a matter of a few clicks with this. So yeah, that's what I use on Heroes of Bronze as well. And of course, there's a lot of settings here. So yeah, create a new group. Very quick. You can set up these. Nice. Yeah. Basically, it's like a scatter add-on, and these two add-ons actually combine together. If you use the assets from Graswald and add it into the scatter add-on, this is just a super useful, super awesome combination, and it allows you to create whole biomes very quick. All right, that was Graswald add-on. Is the audio quite low? That's weird. Sorry for that. Maybe that's because I'm next to my microphone, not in front of it. Anyways, we're getting to the end of this list here. So that was Graswald. Loadify, that's basically the same thing as the Proxify, so let's not go into that here. It's part of the scatter add-on. Cycles render engine, well, that's really something that everybody uses, so it's not really go to that as well. And then there is this UV Packmaster. I don't know, let me very quickly create some object here and create a UV texturing layout and unwrap it. No, Smart UV unwrap. So with this Smart UV unwrap, this is what I got. It can be an efficient setup. Let me pack it here, but, and this might not be visible on such a simple object, but I have this UV Packmaster add-on here, which, as you probably guessed, is for UVing. And what it does, basically, based on some settings that you do not even have to set up. Basically, all I ever do is just hit pack, and it packs your objects much more efficiently. Let me actually add more stuff here for it to be seen better. And let me apply everything, visual geometry to mesh. And very quickly unpack this. So this will be better visible. Okay, smart UV project. And you can see that there's a lot of empty spaces here. While if I hit a pack, see, the distribution of the UVs is much more dense and all of the empty spaces are used now. Compare it to this default pack algorithm. These spaces are not filled, these ones. Not very efficient, but with the UV Packmaster, everything's filled. So definitely one of the best add-ons for UVing, or at least, you know, packing your UV layers. And UV Packmaster. How? Standard, $9. I'd really go for the standard version, really. Another, it's just, come on, it's just $10 or $9. So yeah, I use it all the time. I can't really go without it these days. And for this price, it's one of the best add-ons out there. So yeah, use it. And of course, I will put the link into the discussion. Okay. It's really weird, guys, because I set it up and the audio seemed fine. I basically set it up the same way I set up the last live stream, so I'm kind of confused about the comments or the audio. But yeah, it's good that you can turn up your volume and it seems fine. Okay. And then there's a last add-on. And actually, that last one that I'm going to show you now is the one that I wanted to show you from the very beginning. So let's go to the preferences. And there is this Render Set Pro add-on. Let me search for it. Render Set. And that is the one that I wanted to show you last time in the compositing and rendering setup. Because we've been setting up a lot of cameras and basically render setups and passes and everything, and it can get quite tedious to set up different passes, different layers for different cameras in Blender, and you really don't have a way to save your settings for another pass when rendering. Well, you actually have an option like this. It's a render set add-on by Polygonic, and you can see here in this menu I already have a first scene setup. Let me actually rename it. Come on. Here. Setup 1 is this camera. Setting, for example, I don't know. Let's set it to 200, like this, 50% resolution. Yeah, let's, I don't know, add in different passes. And what shall we change? And let's add more samples. Well, not too many samples, but 500 samples will be okay. Okay, so I now render this and everything will be fine. But what if I wanted to render a completely different rendering setup? Different camera, different resolution, different lighting, different, I don't know, objects in the scene. Well, with this you can actually do that. You just hit a completely add a new setup here. Let's name it setup 2. And let's start changing stuff. So let's change it to Eevee. Let's make it 32 samples. Deactivate ambient occlusion. Let's make it 150%. Change the resolution even. And you can change the camera here. Here. So we have this camera. What else can we do? Change the passes. So add transmittance, scatter. You get the gist. Basically, if I now click on the first one, you see everything jumped into the previous setting. So I still have these settings here. I have the cycles. But when I click on this setup 2, I'm in Eevee. And I can make a setup 3. And change it to workbench, for example. Madcap. And 1000%, for example. 30 FPS. Different output, different this. Whatever you change, it stores it. And it basically then keeps your settings. And then if you hit render all, it renders everything onto your disk. Basically, whenever you set up different passes, different locations for render, and then hit render all, it renders it automatically onto your disk. So this is one of the most useful add-ons for rendering I've ever met in my Blender career. So yeah, definitely try it out. Okay, and I think that's all of the add-ons that I use. And I think also that this is 1 hour and a half. Oh, that's awesome. That's better than I expected. So yeah. I better look in the discussion now because there's so many comments now. Hello everybody, Pavel, and David. Hello everybody. I'm glad you were here. These were my add-ons, and this actually one great information for everybody. This live stream I will leave as a recording on my channel, so no worries, you will be able to watch it whenever you like, because this was an unplanned live stream, and I actually missed a live stream 2 weeks ago, so this is something I wanted to add a live stream as an extra video for everybody to be able to watch. The next live stream will be again just for my patrons, but I'll think about, there's a lot of angry people saying that I shouldn't do it like this, that I shouldn't make my live stream available just for my patrons. So yeah, I don't want to make people angry. I want to make people happy. So I'll think about it and see whether I can change the way I do these live streams. Okay, that's it. If there are any questions, definitely post them now. Tomoya Ogawa, hello sir, everybody. Audio is fine for me, so says Tomoya, so that's great. David says sounds good here too. Awesome. Pavel says just speak louder. Thank you. Digital Studio, hello. Thank you for awesome content. I'm glad that this is something useful for you. And yeah, if you missed this, if you missed the start of this live stream, you can definitely check it. The recording will be available on my YouTube for everybody. Top Channel asks if this Render Set Pro add-on can render first 100 frames with cycles and then switch to Eevee. Yes, definitely. You basically just set up this first one to render 1 to 100, and the second one 101 to 200. See, it stores these informations as well. So this is the link for the add-on. Definitely check it out because I love it. It's definitely one of the most important add-ons for rendering that can speed up your workflow significantly that I ever found. So yeah, very useful. Okay. David Medina says, hello Martin, thank you for sharing. Thank you for watching. I'm glad you were here. AlumX says, I gotta watch from the start. Some of these are great. Yes, they're all great because I keep using them. No, but these are really the ones. I deactivated all the clutter. I deactivated everything that I didn't really use that much. And I really showed you just a list of add-ons that I normally use on all of my projects or most of my projects. So definitely only useful ones here. And Pavel says that we should play Hunt now. So yeah, I think I'm gonna slowly end up this live stream. I hope you liked it. And this is the list. I don't even know how many add-ons I have. And there seems to be no number here. But this is the list. Proxify, Scatter, definitely important. GIS, great for making add-ons. The Grove, my go-to add-on for making trees. Weight to vertex colors, this is for converting your weights to vertex colors. And then ANT landscape, definitely use that for generating landscape base meshes. Auto eye, these are eyes that I use on Heroes of Bronze project, the best eyes out there in my opinion. Import images as planes, surprisingly. Megascans plugin allows you to export all of your Megascans assets from the Megascans bridge into Blender with one click. UV layout allows you to export your UV layouts to, I don't know, Photoshop or Krita, anywhere else. And copy attributes. Oh man, copy attributes. Please activate copy attributes menu because that's the best built-in add-on that has to be active by default, but it's still not active by default. I don't know why, but definitely learn to use this one, please. Atmosphere, great for adding physical, correct atmosphere to your scenes. Though with the new Nishita sky, it's not that useful as it used to be, but yeah, I love it as well. Loop tools, great for modeling, as well as bool tools, which helps you with booleans. Node Wrangler, a must-have for all useful keyboard shortcut operations in Blender Shader Editor. Then Graswald, my go-to add-on for creating grass, of course, photorealistic grass. And RenderSet Pro, this is the one for storing your different render setups and then rendering them all with just one click. And finally, UV Packmaster, which enables you to fill your UV layouts much more efficiently. So guys, these are my add-ons that I use. And Topan says that he's interested in watching these live streams, not really a Blender user. Well, that's all the more awesomeness. I'm glad that you think so. And I hope this was entertaining for you. Thank you, sir. Then Julian, when you add too much plugins, can it be a source of conflict for Blender? I mean, bugs. Julian, I don't think so. I never really had any problems with too many add-ons. Then again, I clean up my add-ons pretty regularly. I delete those that I don't use, so maybe I never had too many add-ons in my system, but I never really encountered any errors based on, you know, conflicts between different add-ons. So in my experience, not really. Pavel says, Martin is breathtaking. You are breathtaking, my friend. And yeah, AlumX says that Node Wrangler should be default. Yes, that's another one that absolutely should be default. And I really pity people who never activated it because it's a must. David Medina says, didn't know the copy attributes add-on existed. A great one. It's the same thing basically as with the Node Wrangler. It should be there built in and automatically activated. And since when you've been using Blender? I've been using Blender for like 3 years now. But I had extensive experience in Maya before that, so it wasn't really that hard to get from Maya to Blender, and I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything, so definitely recommend it. It's just fast and really fast growing, and the developers on Blender are awesome, so I can't recommend it enough. That's why I make tutorials about it. Yeah, my go-to 3D software, definitely. Anyways, I hope you like this. This will be available for everybody, so if you missed something, definitely go through the video that I will later publish. And cheers to you. Hope you had a lovely Sunday. And I think this is everything for me today. And how to use Blender as Substance Painters, ask DUstat. Actually, there's a Blender as Substance Painter. Well, I can't really tell you how to use Blender as Substance Painter, but I can tell you that Zach Reinhardt, my boss, he has this awesome course. I have a course on CG Boost about, come on, I have a slow connection now. I have a course here about Substance Painter, but if you want to learn about how to use Blender kind of similarly like in Substance Painter, you can buy this Blender Launchpad course, and Zach is actually making new chapters, even as we speak, about texturing in Blender. It's all the way down here. There's a lot of chapters. It's like, you know, gazillion hours in this course, so it's definitely worth it. And he's adding texture painting fundamentals and texturing fundamentals and UV mapping fundamentals into this course. So these are just amazing, and he will show you there how to use it kinda like Substance Painter. So Blender Launchpad course, definitely check it out. That was a bit of product placement, but I love Zach, and he's my boss. Anyways, I will put a link in the discussion, of course. And yeah, you might find your answers there. Cool. Is there any add-ons to create trees? Come on, Toppen. I just mentioned it. No, you probably weren't here. But one of those is growth, and I use it for my trees needs. You just, with this growth add-on, you just add a tree and grow it. Whoop, it's growing. And choose a twig and grow it even more and grow it through the roof. That's how easy it is to create trees, different trees, of course, with this growth add-on. So yeah. Anyways, this is it for me. I hope you like this. And next time I will actually have a look in how to create real-time hair cards on my characters. And I will try to discover how to properly make hair cards in Blender. So that might be interesting. Anyways, thank you everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your questions. And don't forget, you're breathtaking. Bye-bye.